Jin Mains. So far in this series, we've looked exclusively at underrated survivors. Tap, Jeff, and Ash are all great, but none of them are more popular than being in the mid-30s out of 44 survivors. Soon to be 45 once Tori is added. That changes today as we hone in for a closer look at somebody who makes a solid case for being Dead by Daylight's absolute best girl, possibly the best character overall. Rather than talk about a niche, underrepresented character, we're covering a survivor who is always near the top 15 most played. She's currently 12th out of 44, and despite this, I still think she's underrated. As if she's anything other than number one, something has gone horribly wrong. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready, get hyped, because today we're talking about the one, the only, the goddess of DBD, Yun-Jin Lee. So, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home, let's talk about the fabulous Yun-Jin Lee. Let's talk about who she is, how she is, why she is. Let's talk about her perks, her outfits, and why her mains definitely pass the vibe check. Let's talk about the Queen of the Fog, and let's do it right now. Starting with the following question: who is Yun-Jin Lee? Honestly, do I even have to answer this one? Yun-Jin Lee is, as already stated, Dead by Daylight's queen. She's untouchable. She's Cleopatra, but she doesn't bend to any Caesar. She's Tamara the Great, but her neighbors have got nothing on her. She's Lady Gaga, but she never stoops so low as to make Joker 2. Yun-Jin Lee is what Patrick Bateman could have become if he wasn't a psychotic idiot. She's cold and analytical like a T-800, and she's just as deadly too. Born in South Korea, Yun-Jin loved music from an early age. Sadly, due to her parents' debts, they sold off all of her instruments when she was only 10 years old. Unbowed, unbent, and unbroken like the viper she is, Yun-Jin never let this setback stop her. At 17, she latched onto a major label in an unpaid role and worked her way up until she could tell Bobby Lashley and Toshinori to get lost because she was the almighty one. And this is where things get good. I mentioned in my Jeff video that it's actually surprisingly rare for killers and survivors to know each other before entering the fog. Generally, that holds true. But it certainly doesn't apply to Yun-Jin and her killer counterpart, the Trickster. No, not only did they know each other, but DBD's queen found Ji-Woon Hak and lifted his bitch ass straight out of the gutter. She dropped him straight into the Korean Backstreet Boys and created a new band that was edgier, more emotional, and most importantly, wildly more viral. It was through the supergroup called No Spin that Yun-Jin established a name for herself. Sure, Ji-Woon was obviously mentally unwell, and sure, the rest of the band members died in a mysterious fire, but take it from me as somewhat of an expert in fires, they can break out at any point in time. I'm sure it wasn't Ji-Woon's fault. Basically, Ji-Woon went solo as the Trickster, and Yun-Jin managed the heck out of his career. Things were good until Trickster decided to murder multiple music executives alongside having the audacity to lay a finger on our queen. Thankfully, the entity took both of them before the Trickster could complete his Ramsay Bolton arc, and because of that, Yun-Jin is now the Queen of the Fog as well. Trickster may be the killer, but trust me, it's Yun-Jin who's doing all of the slaying. Alright, so that covers the who. Now we need to address the how. So, how is Yun-Jin Lee? Listen here, my friend. She's fine. She's living, she's thriving, she's dragging, slaying, and serving. She's running loops around dumb Neanderthal killers, and she's looking fabulous while doing it. She is unbothered and undeterred. The entity is trying to wear her down, but that tendril-covered goober has another thing coming. Yun-Jin is solid rock. She's a shimmering diamond. She's beauty and resolve in one package, and believe me, she's got this. Next up, let's talk about the developers' reasons for adding Yun-Jin to the game by asking, why is Yun-Jin Lee? Normally, this is where I'd give straightforward, logical reasoning. Oh, her lore ties in perfectly with the Tricksters. Oh, they wanted to add another Korean survivor because there was only one and it's a large market. Oh, they thought her design was really good. All of these are valid. All of these are true, yes. But the queen deserves something better, something over the top. So if you will forgive this dated and somewhat obscure reference, I'm about to hit you with some Yun-Jin math. You see, they say that all men are created equal. But you look at Yun-Jin Lee and you look at the trickster and you can see that that statement is not true. See, normally, if you go one-on-one with the killer, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But Yun-Jin is a genetic freak. She's not normal. So killers have a 25% chance at best to beat her. Then you add another survivor to the mix and the killer's chances of winning drastically go down. See, in this DBD trial, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning, but Yun-Jin, she's got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because the other survivors know that they can't beat her, so they're not even gonna try. So Trickster, you take your 33 1/3% chance of winning minus Yun-Jin's 25% chance of winning, and you've got an 8 1/3 chance of winning this trial. But then you take Yun-Jin's 75% chance of winning if y'all were to go one-on-one, and then you add 66 2/3%, and Yun-Jin has got a 141 2/3% chance of winning this trial. See, Trickster, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you in this upcoming trial. So all of that to say, why add Yun-Jin? Because she rocks and she deserves to be here. Moving swiftly ever onward, we will now address the 3 perks Yun-Jin brought to the game, which I've renamed to Playing Hooky, Nobody Important Died, and Bonk, Send the Killer to Corny Jail. Starting with Playing Hooky, this is a perk that seems a lot better than it actually is, even though I still enjoy using it. The basic premise of this perk is that each time one of your teammates gets hooked, you gain 3 tokens, up to a maximum of 27. The next time you hit a great skill check on a generator, all stash tokens will turn into 1% completion progress on that generator. Obviously, it sounds cool to hit one skill check and add 27% progress to a generator, but keep in mind that in this scenario, all of your teammates are literally dead and you should be looking for the hatch. Still, this perk isn't without its uses, and it can come up clutch if you've been chipping away at a hotly contested generator. It pairs well with Detective Tap's Stakeout if you struggle to consistently hit great skill checks. Outside of that, I like running it with a Gen Jockey build designed around completing the objective as quickly as possible, so maybe pair it with Prove Thyself, Deja Vu, Resilience, or Hyperfocus. It also might be smart to use a stealth perk like Distortion or Quick and Quiet, seeing as though this is a fairly selfish perk designed around getting your teammates hooked instead of you. In total, I give this perk a 2 out of 5 in its current state. It has some value, but you'd be better off running most other generator focus perks in its place. Next up, we have Nobody Important Died, another selfish perk that's not very good. This one activates when another survivor is hit by the killer within 16 meters of you. Once this happens, the perk activates and your scratch marks, grunts of pain, and pools of blood are suppressed for the next 10 seconds. This perk pairs well with almost nothing because it's literal garbage. 10 seconds is nothing, and being slightly more stealthy isn't likely to help you when facing a bad situation like the one that this perk is designed for. The only saving grace of this perk is that it actually really helps to make Background Player, an already great perk, even better. But that's about it for the positives. I give this one a 1 out of 5. Don't run it unless you need Yun-Jin's Adept achievement, or again, you're using Background Player. Closing out the perks, we have Bonk, Send the Killer to Corny Jail. Sometimes cited as the worst exhaustion perk in the game, this activates whenever you stun the killer with a pallet and allows you to run at 150% movement speed for 4 seconds. Unlike other exhaustion perks, this one has a much shorter cooldown of only 20 seconds. And look, here's the thing, just because this one is amongst the weakest of the exhaustion perks, that in and of itself does not necessarily mean that it's bad. Some exhaustion perks like Dead Hard, Sprint Burst, Balance Landing, and Lithe are amongst the strongest perks that a survivor could possibly bring. What brings this one down, I fear, is that the game simply has too many killers who you're almost never going to stun with a pallet. Nurse, Huntress, Plague, Deathslinger, Pyramid Head, Blight, Trickster, Nemesis, Knight, Dredge, Alien, Unknown, Vecna, Dracula. There are quite a few killers who rarely leave themselves open for stuns. So while this may get some value against the clowns and bubbas of the world, rip for my bottle boy, he's always the worst at these things, even that assumes that the killer commits and doesn't play safely around the pallet, which I mean, I guess that's actually kind of good for you too, but you get the point. Overall, I like this perk, but it could be a lot better. If it gave the speed boost for any kind of stun, even like a decisive strike stun or something like that, then we'd be talking. But for now, I have to give it a middle of the road 3 out of 5. Now that we've covered perks, it's time to get away from Yun-Jin's greatest weakness and into her greatest strength, fashion. Yun-Jin is an accessorizing icon, and we almost don't have enough time to cover all of her cosmetics, but we're gonna do it anyway. So anyway, this is the base cosmetic for Yun-Jin Lee. I mean, honestly, as far as the base cosmetics go, this one is instantly iconic. It looks fantastic. I love it. It's bold. It's really, really one that just stands out. There's really nothing like it in terms of a survivor just having that kind of drip from their very first cosmetic. So already off to a great start. Now, one thing I keep getting in trouble for is I keep forgetting to mention the one-off cosmetics. Now, going forward, you know, I don't want to do like all the crowns and stuff that came with past anniversaries, but I will highlight this is Yun-Jin's anniversary mask. Obviously, it's very musically themed, and it was one of the first ones, if not the very first one, to actually have it where she has a different hairstyle than her base head. So typically the way they do it is whatever your base head is, they put the mask over that. But as you can see with this one, they actually went for one of her legendary headpieces. And that's pretty cool. It's actually from a set. So you'll notice I don't own the set. I don't have that headpiece in here, but they slapped the mask over that. And you know, it's got the microphone, it's got the speakers. It's cool. I like it a lot. She also has the, the standalone, her cat sweater. So obviously they have the cats and dogs collection. Various different survivors have ones from that, and she does in fact have that as well. And overall, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it fits her as much as kind of a tacky sweater ever could. Obviously she has the dress shirt under it, so still very Yun-Jin in spite of that. And then you have all the ones that everybody has. You know, you have the murder mill, you have the build and protect, you have all those. She also does have her Christmas sweater, which, you know, keeping the music theme, but to really, I think, add that cool Yun-Jin touch, it has what I believe is leopard print and maybe cheetah print. I can't tell the two apart. Yeah, you know, I can't tell them just by the spots. So yeah, very, very cool. Those are her unique cosmetics that are the ones that you get on an annual basis, you know. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's go over to the store and actually see what she's working with there in terms of other ones. But first we're going to put her back in her base cosmetic. Okay, now that we are here at the store, again, we have her in her base cosmetic right now. I don't tend to do the ones that are the brown palette swaps. However, in her case, I actually will kind of address them a little bit because I really love this Joker one. I think it's so funny that they just more or less gave her a Joker color scheme. That's pretty funny to me. She's one of the rare ones where I actually think the brown palette swaps are kind of fun and you can do a lot with them. And that includes obviously once you start getting to the yellow uncommon ones. The skirt is great. This upper part is great. I do wish maybe the hair had been red to go along with the theme of the shoes and the shirt. I'm not sure why they chose orange for that, but whatever. That's on somebody's behavior. That's not something I can do anything about. And then, you know, this one was red, so this one has to be blue naturally. And it looks great. I like that the hair actually seems to start off blue and end white. That's kind of a fun texture for being an uncommon skin. And then moving on, we get to the Hitmaker. If you thought this one was Joker themed, my goodness, we're really, really getting into Joker territory now. I'm going to be honest. I think both of these are kind of hideous. I think they are amongst her very worst cosmetics. Oh, sorry about that. I don't find myself using them almost ever. Not my favorite. And then from there, we will go on to her more legendary, I think. Oh, these are the very rares. Okay. So very rare, we have Along the Way. This one's very futuristic, very space themed. And I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about the headpiece, but I like the rest of it. The rest of it's very fun. I'll actually show you a fun little combination I like to do with it. In fact, I'll go on and do that right now, actually, because the thing with Yun-Jin, and I'm going to say this knowing that there are probably some stiff competition out there. What I love about Yun-Jin is that she is the queen, not only of DBD, but of mixing and matching the outfits. So you take one like this. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I like it well enough. But then I think if you pair it with this head, all of a sudden it's perfect. I think it's really great. Or if you pair it with one like this, I think that's perfect. That's amazing. That really takes it over the top. So she's so good at mixing and matching her cosmetics. I'm a big fan of it. So whereas this base look for it is all right, you know, kind of 6 out of 10 territory, I think you can actually get up to 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 and be a lot better. Next up, she has her pajamas, which, I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of any of the survivors getting the pajamas look. One thing I always say with behavior is stop giving us these wild, out of nowhere skins for people and just give us cozy skins. I like my survivors to be kind of cozy. And I know some people disagree with that. Some people say, no, I love whatever it is, you know, the 1000th skin of like Gabriel dressed up as an astronaut. Fine. Okay. If you're into that, that's valid and that's cool. I like them being cozy. Okay, so I would greatly prefer something like this pajama skin over, say, this surprise performance skin or this soul socialite one, which they're both fine. What I just said was not, it wasn't a criticism necessarily of these two. It's more so just saying I prefer the comfy look. I think this one was actually this one was one that the community submitted, and I'm going to be honest, I thought it looked better on the actual original artist rendition of it than what made it to the game. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm not saying it's bad. I remember seeing it on Twitter and thinking, wow, that's really good. And then it was added to the game, and it's kind of like something's missing. There's something there that just didn't make the transition. Overall, it's fine though. And then obviously, this is her other. These are both sets, so you can't mix and match anything. And this is what I was talking about. You see, it's blue here, but they made her hair the natural black color for the mask. So you can kind of see it there that that's the same hairstyle, which is really cool. Again, really cool that they at least gave us the heads from one of the sets. Next up, we'll go to the waterfront afternoon. You know, sorry to anybody that's a little thirsty in the DBD community, which is to say the DBD community, all of them. But, you know, this is actually a pretty modest beach day skin, unlike, say David or Sable, or, you know, somebody who shows a lot more skin. You know, look, Yun-Jin, she's a classy lady. She's not out here trying to impress you. She doesn't have to. She's Yun-Jin. She's great. She's fantastic. And overall, solid cosmetic. I like this one a lot. She also has this one, the Evening of Honor, which this one was apparently something she wore to an award show or something. I mean, it's pretty, you know, it's cute. I think that more than anything, the headpiece is really good. I really, really like the red. It pairs well with some other cosmetics. Yeah, it's good. Lipstick looks good. Earrings are great. The rest of it's all right. It's fine. I think it looks really nice. It's, you know, it's very becoming of Yun-Jin Lee, right? it matches the character, and that's one of the best things you can do with a cosmetic. Next up, we get what I call her McDonald's look. I actually forget, what's the, okay, so this was for a motorcycle festival. Okay, it looks like McDonald's to me. Maybe I'm just super out of place here. Maybe I'm in the wrong, but yeah, this feels very McDonald's to me, and it's not my favorite of her cosmetics, but I guess it is nice to have a funny one, because she doesn't have a ton of funny ones. And then because I've been going in seemingly random order, we will finish, as far as the ones I don't own for her, with the Midnight Fashionista. I really, really dislike this headpiece. This looks like something that Nia Carlson would wear. I'm not a big fan of it, and I don't love the pants either. However, this jacket is sick. It looks like something a prime Dolph Ziggler would have worn. I love this so much, and I like to try to mix and match it with other pieces of her wardrobe. Moving down to the ones that I actually own, which would probably indicate that I like them more, or that they were part of the Rift. I did show this one earlier, one of her uncommons. I love this leopard and or cheetah print. Again, I'm never gonna learn the difference. Give up on me now. I think it's great. A really, really good bang for your buck if you're looking to get one. I mean, yeah, you can use real world money, or you could actually just grind out some iridescent shards for it. It's not that expensive. I mean, what are the uncommon ones? They go for let's see, 5,400. You can grind that out in probably what, month or two of playing. So, you know, that's definitely attainable. Sunny Rose is, I see it a lot. This is what tends to get used for her disaster pieces, is like pair these pants with something funny. But yeah, all right, it's fine. I like it. Spin class. This one is, I believe, was this also? Yeah, this was also community. And I think this one translated a lot better. I know some people I've seen, you know, on Twitter, they think that none of them translate well and that, oh, the art team always messes. I don't think so. I think this one's good. I think it looks really nice. I love that it's a no spin sweater, which is of course her band that she managed with Ji-woon in it. So that's cool. It keeps up the very strange tradition. Behavior loves neck accessories. They love collars and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm the only one noticing that, but they tend to be pretty prominent. I will jump up here and say that, what was this one called? Sunny Rose has a counterpart that came through the Rift. So it's the exact same one. It's just been recolored to be even gaudier. So if the first one wasn't enough for you, this one, well, I guess the head is gaudier. The body's actually probably less so. So if you combine this head with this body, you're really cooking. Next up, we have Sharp Reflection. This is peak. This is peak. This is what we want from cosmetics, or at least what I want. It perfectly encapsulates the character because it's cute. It's very well put together. It's very intentionally designed. But at the end of the day, it's also cozy. It's also warm. It's also inviting. It's perfectly Yun-Jin while also being perfectly comfortable. And I love that. Next, I will go to, what was this? Only Chance, they said? So This one is a little further out there. It kind of breaks my whole rule of, oh, make it comfortable and all that. But this is actually a good example of kind of a gimmick cosmetic done right. I really like this one. I think it turned out super well. I love the headpiece. I love the whole thing. The color scheme is really satisfying. I run this one a lot when I play Yun-Jin. Next is, what's a Morning Star, not Movie Star, Morning Star. It's a recolor. I mean, you know, your mileage is going to vary on recolors. I like this one where I call it her dictator outfit. You know, it looks like she's taken over a nation of some kind, which she absolutely could and would do. And, you know, it's fun. I think that overall, this one's not one I see a whole lot, but for whatever reason, it was almost an instant buy for me. I spent real world money on this, and that should tell you that I probably don't need to have a wallet on me when I play DBD. But anyway, this one, the Fire Moon Mourner, was actually the one that when this came out, this was the outfit that made me prestige her all the way. And I had her prestiged all the way before the 100. So what was it? Used to go up to 6 or something like that, or was it just up to 3? Anyway, whatever it was, I spent so many blood points. I think it was just a 3, by the way. I spent so many blood points just to get her prestiged all the way, and I played her nonstop. I love this skin. The headpiece is fantastic. The rest is, again, I keep using this word. It's just so cute. It's just so put together. It's so perfect for this character. I love it. Speaking of cute and put together, how about this cozy winter cosmetic? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you don't have this, because I think you can only get it during Christmas, right? If you don't have this, just wait. We're almost to Christmas. You can almost get this again. Is this not the greatest thing? I love it. It's fantastic. And speaking of the greatest thing, how about the Dance Macabre cameo? This is so cool. This is the I guess Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein or whatever you want to call it. This is incredible. This is her newest one. It was just done for the what was it? The Hallowed Blight. I'm sorry if you heard my phone there. I forgot to mute it in this one. This whole recording's been a mess. But yeah, this is great. This is so fun. I don't know that it really pairs well with a whole lot of stuff because it's so obviously Frankenstein themed, but maybe you could swap out the head for another one and it would still work really well. But anyway, this is really, really cool. And now I want to get to the part where I talk about my favorite, because I usually do the masterpiece and the disaster piece. And the thing with Yun-Jin is she has so many high quality ones. She has so many great looks that it's almost impossible to pick one for a disaster piece, because you can do a disaster piece. Let's say hypothetically I wanted to do a disaster piece, right? You could put on one of the maybe more extravagant heads like this. You could put on some bright orange pants, and then you could slap on like a yellow. And it's like, you know, does this really work? No. Does this work? No. You can do all sorts of less than flattering ones, but ultimately, I think the funny thing is she still kind of looks good no matter what you do with this. Yun-Jin just has that way about her. So my personal favorite skin of hers is, unsurprisingly, this Fire Moon Festival one. I think this is really, really neat. I think this is really, really cool, and it turned out extremely well. However, I want to give a shout out to one I've been playing with a lot here lately, and it's a very minor alteration on an otherwise complete cosmetic, and it's this right here. So you take the, what was it called? The Sharp Reflection, and all I'm doing is I'm changing the head. I'm changing the head to have this kind of cute little bun up top. I think it looks fantastic, and overall, it's kind of quickly become my favorite look for her. So there are 1,000 awesome cosmetics for her. She is the queen of cosmetics, and I hope this has done her justice, because I am a big fan of the cosmetics she brings to the game. So if you are a Yun-Jin main, I hope that you would say, yes, this does justice to her, and I am happy with this review of her many, many cosmetics. Now that we have covered cosmetics, perks, lore, all of that, it's time to ask the ultimate question. Do Yun-Jin Lee mains pass the vibe check? And I already spoiled this one earlier, so I hope you were listening. Yes, they do. Of course they do. Yes, 1000% they pass the vibe check. Yun-Jin is the best girl, and anybody that chooses to main her has made a fantastic choice. I love it. I think it's great. She should be the most popular character in the game. There are only a few who can make a rightful claim against that. I am just absolutely enamored, not only with this character, but with the community around her. Fantastic. Love them to death. Yes, they pass the vibe check. And ultimately, that is going to do it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've had so much fun doing this mains series. I got a little sillier with this one. I hope it wasn't too off-putting. I'm sorry I threw Steiner math at you. That was probably really jarring if you don't understand the reference. But anyway, I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I love you. I appreciate you. And until the next one, I've been Das Food. Bye, friends.
And I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness.